Hey guys, it's FanofFans47 here with an update to my camera collection. So as you can see, since the last update I've gotten lots of new cameras. So let's just go ahead and get started. So first we have three Kodaks. The first of the three is my EasyShare C813. This one is 8.2 megapixels and it records video at, 640 by 480 at 15 frames per second. Go ahead and turn it on here. You can see this one works just fine. See? This has actually been on my bucket list for quite a while, so I'm glad I finally have one. Next up is my EasyShare DX4330. This one's a bit older. This one is... how many megapixels is this? I know it says on it somewhere. Oh, it's 3.1 megapixels, and it records video at 320 by 240 at 15 frames per second. Now watch this. When I turn it on... oh, that's weird. Usually it'll work. Sometimes you have to just twist the lens cap a little bit and face the camera down a little bit. Usually the lens cap would pop right off, but it doesn't always work. Come on, now it's not turning on. There we go. So yeah, this one works. It's got its quirks, but it's workable. And I actually got this from one of my high school teachers, so thank you very much for that. So yeah, there's that. And the last of the three Kodaks is my EasyShare Z915. This one's a bit newer. This one's 10 megapixels and it records video at 640 by 480 at 30 frames per second. Now sometimes this one has trouble when it turns on. But yeah, there you go. Yeah, sometimes you have to repeatedly press the power button in order for it to fully turn on. But I guess I got lucky that time. But yeah, this one also has an optical stabilizer. So that's nice. And next up we have a couple of GEs. The first of the two is my E850. This one has 5 times optical zoom, and it is 8 megapixels, and it records video at 640 by 480 at 30 frames per second. Go ahead and turn it on here. There you go. It's got a very loud startup sound. But yeah, you can see this one works just fine. And next up is my A830. Now, really the only difference between this and the E850 is that this one takes AA batteries and the E850 takes a rechargeable battery. This one also has a smaller display. You can see this one also works. There you go. This one is, I believe it's also, yeah, it's 8 megapixels and records video at the same resolution as the E850. And next up is my Vivitar Vivicam F126. Now, when I picked this thing up from the thrift store, the battery compartment was completely corroded from tons of acid from the batteries that were in there last, and it completely destroyed the compartment, so I had to kind of jerry-rig it back together. But it worked, I guess. Sometimes you have to kind of play with it, though. Let's see. There we go. Now, this one's annoying, because it always defaults to, wait for it to focus, hang on. Now you can kind of see that. You can see it defaults to flash off every single time you restart it. That's really annoying. But yeah, this one is... how many megapixels is this? Let's see. If we go into the... this thing's really annoying. Yeah, see, it just keeps restarting because the batteries don't have a firm connection. Okay, yeah, it's 14 megapixels. And this one records video at 1280 by 720 at variable frame rate. And next we have a couple of camcorders. These two actually look identical, but they actually have some very minor differences. You can see right away that the lenses are slightly different. We'll go ahead and start off with this one right here. This one, as you can see, this one is a Global DV136ZB. It doesn't have a brand name on it, but I know the brand name because I looked it up. Go ahead and turn it on here. The startup sound on this thing is really goofy. But yeah, this one is, I believe it's 4 megapixels, and it records video at 640 by 480 at variable frame rate. That shutdown sound, oh my god. And next up is this one. You can see, just like I said, pretty much identical. It's got a little bit of a smaller screen. Yeah, you notice right away when I turn it on, it's a lot different. I believe this one's older. You can just see the layout is a lot, I don't know, it just feels more vintage to me. But yeah. This one is the same resolution as its counterpart. And moving on, next up is this very big Polaroid IS-2132 bridge camera. I actually found this at a yard sale for only $3, which is pretty impressive. 21 times optical zoom. And this one is 16 megapixels and records video at 1280 by 720 at 30 frames per second. Go ahead and turn it on here. There you go. Now I'll go ahead and demonstrate the zoom for you. See, it does zoom in quite a bit. And this one has the flash that pops up. You can see now it says flash auto. So yeah, there you go. This one has an electronic stabilizer, by the way. Has a bit of a delayed shutdown. There we go. And next up, I actually got this one at the same time as the Polaroid. This is a Panasonic Lumix DMC TS25, not to be confused with the Sony TS20, which is actually what I'm recording on right now. This one is waterproof, and it is 16 megapixels and records video at 1280 by 720 at 30 frames per second. You can see it works fine. This one has an optical stabilizer, by the way. So yeah, and it has a, it looks like a fixed lens, but it actually does have optical zoom. If you look really carefully while I press the zoom lever, I don't know if you can see that, but the lens is moving. It's kind of hard to see. I don't know if you can see it. And last but not least, I got this one just yesterday. This is a Nikon Coolpix S550. This one came with a broken battery compartment, so I just took it off because you don't really need it for this model. This one is 10 megapixels and it records video at 640 by 480 at 30 frames per second. There you go. You can see this one works fine. Yep. And that concludes this camera collection update video. Thank you for watching.